Hello and welcome to the patch breakdown for Thrawn's Revenge Imperial Civil War 2.3.2. I'm still missing my voice a little bit, so apologies for that. This patch is largely centered around fixing some small bugs as well as updating several models and skins and introducing new low orbit maps on some planets. Eventually, the low orbit maps will cover pretty much all planet types and space maps, however right now they are limited to about 10 where they are currently being tested. Our primary goal with this, while it is something that is featured in other mods, is to make sure that it remains readable so you can see what's going on in front of them. One of the problems we've had in the past with other implementations of it is that it tends to be difficult to see what's going on, so we want to make sure that everything is still visible, you can still make out which units are which, while still looking visually much better than a lot of the smaller planet models which tend to look very wrong against the scale of the ships. We've also implemented some different atmospheric effects around the planets, and have tried to avoid using tiling textures for them. We will need to replace the cloud texture, which shows up as fairly pixelated. That will probably be something that tiles a fair bit. However, we're pretty happy with the implementation so far, and it's just something that needs to be fine-tuned a bit and spread out to the rest of the mod. On top of that, there are also several other individual unit models and skins which have been updated. This includes the Scout Trooper, Storm Commando, and Scout Bike models, updated Stormtrooper models, an updated Battle Droid model, IDT model, and a new texture for the Carrack Cruiser. The Nebulon-B model has also been redone, and several more models will be coming in the next few releases. 2.3.3 will include new models for the Imperial 1, Imperial 2, and Tector Star Destroyers, as well as probably the Liberty-class Mon Calamari Cruiser, with most Mon Calamari Cruisers getting updates following that. The Gozanti Cruiser model has also had some updates to lower the polygon count on the Shadow Mesh and the Light Mesh. The Shadow Mesh in particular was incredibly high poly for some reason. I think it was an improper export, and as a result, it would be causing a lot of tactical lag. So that has been fixed, and you should start seeing a lot better performance in battles that involve them. There have also been some new units introduced, specifically fighters. The Cherdaki fighter, which is used in the Back to War Galactic Conquest, it's based on a Twi'lek fighter. It's kind of an ugly TIE fighter, or an ugly fighter, which means it's different parts of different starfighters that are put together. We've also introduced the TIE Heavy Bomber to the Greater Maldrude, and a new ground unit, the Swift Assault 5 Hover Scout, which has been introduced to the Greater Maldrude and Era 2 Empire. Thanks to Nolan Star, we've also given the Dreadnought a new team color map, which indicates the ownership in Skirmish. We have tried to keep this save compatible with 2.3.1, so we have kept out some of the major fixes for Galactic Conquest and some other changes that will be coming with the next version. We'll talk about that in a minute, but we have introduced new stat display counts, or a new section to the stat display count in the Galactic level, where you'd see the force breakdown in the galaxy that now displays your economic structure count, so how many mines and trade ports you have out of your total. On the back end, there's been some changes to the structure for different units and files. This is something that is purely for development purposes. You shouldn't see any in-game changes to it. We've just made a lot of stuff from Fall of the Republic and Imperial Civil War work together a lot better, which makes it easier for us to update. One of the major bugs that we have tried to fix with this version, which will take some testing to confirm, is to fix the era skip issue, where the New Republic will often go from Era 2 directly to Era 4. We believe this had something to do with the way the base game tech worked for the New Republic, or for the Rebels, where they would unlock everything they have to slice, where they'd use C-3PO and R2-D2 to get the tech, and then it'd go to the next level. We think that was interfering, so we've tried to remove as many references to that as possible, and we think we've got everything, so theoretically that should work. It may be caused by something else. There have also been some switched ground maps for planets like Galantho and Ession, which many people were reporting to cause a crash, so we're going to keep an eye on that as well. There have also been some other smaller changes and fixes, which we won't go over here, but we will continue to be doing small updates like that between patches. Between 2.3.1 and 2.3.2, there was also a change to accuracy. This rolled out about 2 weeks ago, where larger ships should be a bit more effective at targeting smaller ships again. That again came out on August 4th, so you'll already be playing with that. It was basically the accuracy used to scale by doubling every tier. Now each tier is just 10 degrees off of the former tier. Each weapon basically fires out within a certain cone. The cone used to get much, much bigger progressively. Now it scales linearly. So we'll also be keeping an eye on that. All of these changes for 2.3.2 are now available on the Steam Workshop for people with a Steam copy of the mod. We will hopefully be able to get out a copy of the mod for non-Steam versions soon. We will probably do that around 2.3.5, but don't quote me on that. It is relatively difficult to actually get it to work with the non-Steam versions because there's a lot of stuff we have to strip out. We have to then test that the save crash issue isn't happening, because there are a lot of patches that exist for the Steam version of the game that don't exist for the non-Steam version, so a lot of testing has to go into that. And then that one wouldn't be getting the same patch support though, so that's the kind of thing that we'd update once every major release. But anyways, for 2.3.3, which is the next version we're going to be putting out, probably around late September, we'll have a fixed date for that soon so people can make backups. That will involve a lot more changes to story scripting and Lua scripting. That will not be save compatible. This patch should be, so you can hopefully still continue your old versions. We are going to put out a or a more obvious tutorial on how to make a copy of the mod so you can continue on an old copy of the mod to finish the save before updating. One does exist on the Steam Workshop discussion forum, but we are hoping to smooth out a lot of the last error change issues, introduce a lot of the break-off mechanics again. We will probably roll out the first version of Influence in late September, which we did a news post talking about earlier, which will possibly include Vassal Faction AI, but we'll see how Hapes is doing by then. And yeah, so we'll have more information on that as it comes, but that is the goal right now, just a heads up for everyone. The in-game community match schedule will also be updated to the September schedule soon. I'm going to be out of town for a couple days, so I'm not going to be able to commit to exact dates for that yet. But by September 1st, they should be out. And that should do it. So, hope you have enjoyed this look at 2.3.2 and are looking forward to 2.3.3. We'll be starting the New Republic preview playthrough for some of the upcoming features in the next couple weeks. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and that will be coming soon. So thank you for watching, and hope to see you next time.